Video justice. So Biggie Smalls was born in the streets. He was born in the 70s. And he grew up and he didn't have a father. His father, he's Jamaican. His father's Jamaican. His mother's Jamaican. And something didn't happen between him and his mother and his father. They broke up. So his mother had to raise him alone. She had to work 3 jobs. And this is very hard for a single black woman to raise her kid, especially a male. He's a kid. He's a man. She has to raise a baby. He's male, and while she wanted him to she wanted to give him a good life, and she did the best she could up until the time he was in 5th grade. From kindergarten to 5th grade, Biggie Smalls was a straight A student, successful, bright kid, straight A's. He was good at math, science, history. You know, his mind was so good. You know, he was gonna be. He wanted to be a lawyer, a doctor, and he went to a Catholic school. He didn't go to a public school. He went to a Christian school, a Catholic school, sheltered, and he made good grades, always making A's. He never had to be in his life. Just smart, you know. By the time he entered the 6th grade, he went to public school. She put him into public school. He complained to his mother. His mother, I want to go to public school. She couldn't say no to the guy. She put Biggie Smalls in a public school. And this is when he started to become bad. He started hanging around the wrong group of kids. You know, they saw he was still good, making good grades when he entered in the middle school. But then he started hanging around the wrong group of people. They saw he's a good, smart kid. Let's try to see if we can change him. They start picking him, calling him brainiac. He's too smart. Why don't you go to another white school? She put him into. I think he went to an all-black school. So his grades dropped. He wasn't going to class. He was skipping class, and then later on, by the time he reached high school, he was making D's and F's. He wasn't paying attention. His mother was disappointed in him. He turned to drugs. Biggie Smalls, rapper Biggie Smalls. He turned to drugs. Then the violence. He was arrested when he was 17, and he did 6-7 months in jail. And he was depressed about it because he'd never been in jail before. He met a woman before he met Faith Evans. He didn't meet Faith Evans until he became famous. Where by the time he was famous, he could have any woman he ever wanted. But he met a woman, he made a baby with her, and his daughter, is now in her 20s. She might be 27 now, 28. And unfortunately, he became famous. He met Puffy. Puffy gave him he was a good rapper. He started rapping when he was 17, making his own lyrics. He would do rap battles with people. And there's a music video on YouTube which shows him rapping with another guy. And there's, another black guy. He's like short, and he hurts his feelings. They're supposed to be like a rap battle, but he's tearing this guy up. He's coming up with all these lyrics, and this guy look like his shoulders like this. He's looking all awkward, and here, this guy runs off crying because Biggie Smalls was powerful. His words could hurt you. And Puffy Combs saw something in him. But, Biggie Smalls was shy. He was awkward. He wasn't really good with the ladies, and he was overweight, very dark skinned, and he just wasn't very, he wasn't a street person. His mother threw him out the house, I heard. He was homeless for a while. His mother got tired of him bringing in drugs and doing drugs, and so his mother threw him out the house. He was homeless. That's when he got to more violence. But fortunately, he met Biggie Smalls. No, fortunately, he met Puffy, P. Diddy. P. Diddy was a successful guy, rapper, multi-millionaire. He gave Biggie Smalls a career. And Biggie Smalls started doing music with him. Cali, they bat. And Puffy Combs was not a hardcore rapper. He wasn't violent. He wasn't like Ice-T. He wasn't like Ice Cube. He wasn't like Warren G. He wasn't one of those rappers, Tupac. He wasn't nasty. Puffy Combs wanted to do music, but he was an R&B singer. He was like the Jacksons. Michael Jackson, they wasn't, they would sing songs, but they didn't cuss in their songs. I'm not saying they were angels, but Puffy Combs was different. He had female dancers. He had people who would dance behind. He would sing, but his singing, there was no cussing, no profanity. There was always, he wanted, he wanted to do music without profanity. He didn't want to be I'm from the streets, I'm a gang member, all that crazy stuff. So from 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, Biggie Smalls was living a good life. From the early 90s to the late 90s, Biggie Smalls he was making music, started doing his own album, Ready to Die. Then it said Life After Death in '97, and then everything went pretty good in his life. He was making some, I think his albums were selling millions. He was friends with Tupac. That didn't last long. The beef, '94, Tupac was shot 5 times, and he thought Biggie was responsible for his death. And then so that's when they stopped being friends. And then later on hit him up, and then Biggie song did a rap song called "Who Shot You," and then Biggie song but it wasn't towards Tupac. And then later on in like '96, Tupac did the nastiest song you probably ever heard here in your life. He hit him up, which humiliated Faith Evans, Biggie Smalls, P Diddy, and a whole bunch of other people. Tupac lost his mind, went crazy. This what got him killed. He was killed the same year he did that album. Okay, so this got him killed. East Coast, West Coast started when he did that song, hit him up. And like I said, Tupac was an idiot for doing that song. But besides all that, I want to get to the point that they were selling millions of records. Biggie and Tupac were not making money, even though they were famous. They were doing interviews, awards, and concerts. They were being cheated because of their ethnicity. They're black guys. They were in their mid-20s. They weren't making any money. They were selling millions of albums and they were famous, but they wasn't making any money. So Biggie Smalls died in '97. He was at a club, 662 Club, I think. I don't know what he was at. He was at a club. P Diddy had a party for him, and then he was killed. They said who was a Muslim. Shaquille O'Neal was friends with Biggie Smalls. They were friends. They did an album together, and Shaquille O'Neal said he was supposed to meet Biggie Smalls at a party that night in '97, March 9th, 1997. He was supposed to meet him, but he overslept. He said he was already dressed. He had his tuxedo on. He was dressed up, had his hat on, his tuxedo was on. He was dressed up in a white suit. But the limo driver never came to pick him up. And the reason I think that they didn't pick up Shaquille O'Neal is because Shaquille O'Neal was soft. They were gonna do some like heavy drugs and smoking, and Shaquille O'Neal doesn't do that. That's why they didn't pick up Shaquille O'Neal. They thought that Shaquille O'Neal was soft. He was an NBA player. That he probably wasn't going to be acting crazy. They're going to be drinking, smoking, acting wild. Shaquille O'Neal was depressed, but he would have been in the car if the limo if Biggie had come and pick up Shaquille O'Neal. That means Shaquille O'Neal and Tupac would have been in the same car. That means both of them would probably have gotten, things would not have turned. Everything would have probably went bad to worse. So something, So for the good thing about it, his mom came in the room and said, "You're late." He woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. His mother told him that you missed the party, that you overslept, that you didn't go to the, But then there was a phone call, and it said that the next day he found out that Biggie Smalls was killed. He cried. He said, "Oh, God, I was supposed to be at that party," And for years, he kept saying that maybe he could have saved Biggie Smalls' life if he had went to that nightclub that night. I don't think he could have saved his life. They was gonna get Biggie Smalls if it wasn't that day, the next day. Like I said, fate has his own destiny. But I'm happy that Shaquille O'Neal didn't go to the party with all those crazy people at the nightclub with Biggie Smalls. I'm glad that he stayed home and overslept. But he said that he still feels like he could have saved Biggie Smalls' life, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty sad though. But yeah, Biggie Smalls was good friends with Shaquille O'Neal. And they were friends for about maybe a year. Yeah.